car that has been with us for a few years now. Now, I find these Fords are very similar in quality to that of Vauxhalls. I know a lot of people won't agree with that or find it offensive. 0 to 60 test now. But that is the basic reality. I get to drive a lot of cars, and I can tell you there's not a lot of difference between a Ford and a Vauxhall. 60. Okay, so we have by no means a road rocket here, but it's certainly a car which is nippy enough for nipping around town and doing your shopping, dropping the kids off, and getting you back and forth to work, providing you don't live on another planet or in a different country. Okay, well, what's the first thing we can say about this vehicle? I do like the wing mirrors. They're quite narrow, but they're quite wide at the same time. High and low, if that makes sense. Not really. They seem to go up quite a way, so you've got a lot of vision. The rear view vision is partially obstructed by the headrest, but not to an enormous degree. It's quite clear there, actually. Got an enormous dashboard here. I think if you had any toddlers, you could go camping in this car and you can stick a mattress on there, no problem. The instrument cluster, can't say I like it. Number one, it's way too low. Number two, it has these like telescope type tunnel bits attached to it, which at the end of the day, I suppose is probably to keep the sun out, but all that's going to do is create a shadow. So that doesn't work. The needles on the dials look really cheap and tacky too. They look like something out of a £5 digital watch made in Taiwan. The gauges there are so small, it's ridiculous. So that's a complete flunk. The center console is a bit better, very easily laid out, very elementary, very simple, very basic. You can look down, do what you got to do, and be up straight away. The gearbox, we've got a 5-speed manual gearbox. I can tell you now this car would really benefit from a 6th gear. There's a lot of noise coming from the road on this car. I'm just going to be quiet for 5 seconds. I hope the camera picks it up. I'm doing 45 miles an hour. This is the noise. I have to say that's the noisiest car I think I've ever been in. Plenty of headroom in this vehicle. You can certainly sit 4 people very comfortably, 5 at a squeeze. Steering is very light and very agile, and it's really quite responsive. Being a front-wheel drive car, it's probably going to be a little bit overzealous in the rain. Going around corners, or some enthusiastic driving. A little bit of wheel spinning and understeer, I would imagine. But it feels like the car will respond to your steering. In fact, it's quite jittery. It's very alert steering. I quite like that. The actual shocks aren't too bad, not too wobbly. Don't have too much roll with this car. It is quite a high car actually. You do feel like you're highly seated. The brakes, on the other hand, the brakes are actually very good. You've got a gradual pressure there, no grabbing. You can feel all calipers working in perfect synchronization. And I'm pretty sure it's calipers all around on this vehicle. There might be drums on a lower version, I'm not 100% sure on that. It's a little bit drab on the inside, to be fair. It's got that sort of wheelie bin plastic interior, but it's almost like an industrial interior or commercial interior out of a van. Basically, this vehicle drives very well. It does what it says on the tin. It's a bit of a no-frills package. I wouldn't get too excited about buying one of these, but I think if you take it for a test drive, you won't be disappointed. It's not a bad vehicle at all. If you want it for just day-to-day use, I think you've got yourself a good wagon. If you want luxury, comfort, long-distance travel, then forget it. But for everyday use, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I think if there's any danger with this vehicle, it will be that it will probably bore you to death. But it's like I said, it's like a Vauxhall. It just does what it says on the tin, and as long as you're not going to expect too much, I think you'll be very pleased with the vehicle.